Hey family, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name is Vinny. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to officially become part of the family. Today's video is about sacrifice. Specifically, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve the things that you really want to achieve? The goals that you set for yourself, what is it that you're willing to sacrifice to achieve? Now, before we go into the sacrifice, let's start about the goals that you have, the goals that you've set for yourself. Now, for most of the people, our goals are really vague and we think the specific, we think we know what exactly that we want, but the reality is we don't. For example, a lot of people would say, I want a good job, I want a good wife, a good husband, or a good whatever, depending on whatever team you're playing for, doesn't really matter, and a good family, having your kids, or whether adopted or not, doesn't really matter. The reality is that we just tailor-made these dreams for ourselves and we call it our dreams. A lot of people say, I want a good job, I want a good spouse, I want good kids, a good family, maybe a good house as well, and that is our dreams, that is our goals, and those are the things that we say we want. But let's get into it so that we can understand the sacrifices that we need to go through. Now, let's say, for example, the spouse. A lot of people think it's all about jolly and about having a good time together. That's a good relationship. There's a lot that has to happen before you get to that level. In fact, I think the good times, when you see a relationship, when you see people having a good time, that's probably about 10% or even 20% of the whole relationship. The other 80%, not that it's misery, but it's a whole lot of communication that needs to be working on. It's the difficult conversation that needs to be had, it's the planning that needs to happen, and the openness that the couple need to have. Those are the sacrifices of having a good relationship. And a lot of people never look at this. They just want to see that 20 minutes time when they're together. They want to see the time when they're getting married. They want to see the time where they're out there outing, traveling together. That's the part that people want to see, and those are the things that people think makes a good relationship. But in reality, it's the 80%. It's about what the conversations that they're having. It's about the planning that they're doing together, the openness, the ability to be able to tell your partner that here for me, this is where I draw the line. You're crossing it for me now. You're crossing the line and you're getting to a point where I'm not comfortable going forward with this. And it doesn't matter what it is, it's the reality of it. It's whatever problem that you're having, even if it comes to raising the kids, the type of strategies you want to adopt, it needs a lot of openness, it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of research, because people think I was raised in a certain way, I turned out to be okay, and if I raise my kids in the similar way, chances are I'm gonna be okay. That's not reality. The reality is that you might have to do a whole lot of work than that you did before. Your kids are having more exposure than you had before, and you need to be able to still maintain that relationship, still be able to raise them in a certain level. This goes through a lot of research. That's how you get into a stage where you're having these kids that are behaving, kids that are succeeding in the things that they're doing, kids that are performing well either at schools or with the relationships with other people and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of conversation that need to happen, it takes a lot of openness. Even a good job maybe doesn't take a lot of communication, but a good job requires you maybe to go to school for, let's say, 8 years. Let's just count it for heaven's sake. It takes about 3 years to do a degree, like honors, it's a 1 year, a master's 2 years, so that's about 6 years. 6 years. So let's say for a good job might take you to get to a level of masters, so that takes a lot of time. Although a master's itself might take you about 6 years to get there, chances are before you even start your degree, you need to have worked well in your matric, or you need to go probably through another process of bridging that will allow you to get into the degree. You need to work hard in the degree so that you can get a chance into the honors, and you need to work well in the honors to be able to get to that level of masters. And when you get there, then it's not an automatic thing of saying now you get a good job. The reality is that you probably still have to work 3 or 4 more years before you start being recognized. Sometimes even if to work 7 years, depending on the type of field you're in, before you're recognized as an expert, before you become, oh, this person is actually good at this. It needs a lot of work, and those are the sacrifices that you need to go through to be able to get to the dreams that you want. The reason why I'm doing this video today is because I hear a lot of people saying, Vinny, I want this. Vinny, I think if I can get a good job, I'll be okay. I'm like, no, you're not looking for a good job. If you're looking for a good job, you need to sit down and plan exactly what is a good job, what level of your career do you want to be there, and what sacrifices do you need to do to get to that level. Do you need to go back to school maybe and study, study a couple of courses, maybe do your honors and masters, maybe you just need to do your masters? And how many years do you need to work in the field before you're recognized as the expert? It takes a lot of sacrifice to get what you want to get. And this is just the few things that I mentioned. I didn't mention even the financial costs that are going to be that you'll have to sacrifice. Going back to school is nothing cheap. A lot of courses are expensive these days, and the higher you go, the more expensive they get. I didn't even talk about the time that, especially with your school, that you need to be able to put together and say, this is the amount of time I'm going to need to take so that I can have the time to be able to be successful or to be able to complete this. And question is, where are you taking this time from? Are you taking it from another job? Are you taking it from the family time? Are you taking it from your sleep? Are you taking from the time that you should be having with your friends? These are the sacrifices that you need to do to be able to get to a level where you'll be satisfied, a level where you're going to say, oh, now I am at a level where I want to be. It takes a lot to become successful. For you, if you really want to be successful, you need to sit down with yourself, have an introspection, and discuss with yourself to say, what are the sacrifices that are necessary for me to get to that level? The question is, and you need to ask yourself, am I willing to do the sacrifices to get to where I want to get? Because I can promise you one thing, I feel boy, the only opportunities you're gonna get more are the crumbs of bread that your friends that may have left for you, that other people may have felt sorry and gave to you. Those are the crumbs of the bread. You don't get the full bread by Hlale Konin. And if you're looking for the bread, dude, you gotta work hard. You're gonna work so hard. You gotta work so hard. Like, I feel for you. You gotta work so hard to get to that level. And this video is a bit longer than the other videos, but I hope you don't mind. I hope you're enjoying. I hope that's how you prefer it. I got a bit high. I got to that level, doing this video because I'm so passionate about this. I love it. But anyway, see you on the next video. Ciao. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Love you, family.